Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one it is time for my week 2 challenges guide. That is right guys, we're back in the swing of things with the challenges, and today I'm going to be showing you how to find the different points on the south side of the map, west side of the map, east, north, all of those, as well as the secret banner for this week. Also tips and tricks for all of the other challenges as well, such as a really fast and easy way to deal damage to supply drops and stuff like that. So yeah guys, if you do find this video helpful and you want to help support me or you appreciate the guides, be sure to use code TheLlamaSir in the item shop. Remember guys, the code you have put in resets every 14 days. So if it's been 14 days or you just want to refresh it, be sure to re-input my code TheLlamaSir. And big thanks to all of you who have already been doing so. But yeah guys, be sure to hit that like button down below if you are excited for a new week of challenges, and also comment what tier are you guys at. For me, I am at tier 45, but I did get, I think it was called the battle bundle or the head start, but I'm curious to see where you guys are at as well, so comment that down below. Now without further ado here, let's jump into it guys. First of all, with a quick overview of the challenges we're going to be covering in this video in case you aren't home to see them. But obviously again, we're going to be covering where the banner is, which is basically the secret star challenge, but this week it's a banner. I'll explain more about that in a bit. But as for the other challenges, you have eliminations at Salty Springs or Haunted Hills, deal damage to opponents with a pirate cannon, which could be tough, but I'll show you some tips on how to do that. Deal damage to descending supply drops, got some good tips about that one. Search a chest in different named location in a single match. Visit furthest north, east, south, and west points on the island. I will show you the exact location of those, make it super easy. And also you have land at location stages and gain health stages. So yeah guys, some pretty interesting challenges this week. But let's go ahead and jump into it with the first challenge I want to cover in this video, and that is the deal damage to descending supply drops, which may seem tough at first, but there's honestly a super easy way to do this one that honestly guys, you'll get it done in no time. So the specifics about this one, and honestly the best way to go about doing it, is to go into Team Rumble. Now there's a specific reason for that. Obviously you can do it in the regular modes like solo, duos, or squads, but Team Rumble is probably the best for this because the supply drops spawn at a specific time fairly early in the game, and since it's Team Rumble, there's a bunch of them that spawn. So for example here, as you can see, when you go into a Team Rumble game, keep track of the timer. When it first moves into the storm moving type timer, as soon as it hits around 5 minutes on that is when the first round of supply drops will spawn. So basically with that being said, you want to make sure you have something like an AR and you're towards the circle, because then when those spawn, you can simply pull up your mini map, see where the supply drops are going to land, go over to those locations, look up into the air, and fire at the supply drops that are in the air to get that damage done. Now honestly guys, this really shouldn't take that much time. As long as you keep track of when that 5 minutes happens and you're close to the circle with a weapon that you can use to deal damage to these supply drops, you should be able to get this one done very easily. Now after that guys, let's talk about the secret banner challenge for this week, or I guess it's also technically like the star challenge, but as you guys know, it switches between a star and a banner, goes back and forth. At least that's how it's worked in the past seasons, and that seems to be how it's working this season as well, simply judging by how last week was a star and this week is a banner. So they're kind of the same thing, but if you were looking for the star challenge, this is technically it, except it gives you a banner this week. But yeah guys, don't worry, I'm pretty sure I know the location of it for you, and honestly it's pretty easy. Now first of all, as a reminder, since this is the week 2 loading screen type challenge, you will need to complete 2 weeks of challenges in order for this banner to even show up in the first place. And what I mean by that is completing the 7 challenges within a week. You need to do that twice. So if you're watching this video on the day I'm uploading it, basically complete the challenges of the weeks that you have available to you right now. You have to do that first before this banner even shows up on the map for you to go and find it and go and pick it up, so make sure you do that first. But yeah guys, the loading screen has been floating around a bunch on Twitter and Reddit, and as you guys know, there's usually a clue hidden in there as to where to look. So apparently this week for the banner, you have to go inside of the volcano. Now once you're inside of the volcano, it doesn't really matter which game mode you're in, I'm pretty sure, as long as it's not playground or something like that. But if you're doing a normal mode and you go inside of the volcano, you want to take a look to the left side of where the throne is. The throne is right here, and the banner should show up once you get near this area right here, sort of on the wall, somewhere around this general area. I haven't quite gotten it myself, but this is where the clue is showing, so it should be right there. Now if for some reason the location changes for whatever reason, simply check the pinned comment down below for updates. But honestly guys, I'm pretty sure it should be right here, so yeah. Now moving on to the next challenge I want to cover in this video, that is the search a chest in different named locations in a single match. Now honestly this one is pretty straightforward, but there's a couple of tips I can give you for this one. The first of which is probably to do Team Rumble if you want to stick on the safe side of it, because what you can do is simply jump on your side of the map, because that will let you, avoid enemies, and it'll just make it a lot easier to, get around the map without having to run into people. Now, with that being said, one of the locations I would personally recommend going is Junk Junction. If that location is on your side of the map, it works out very well, because if you're able to actually first land at the racetrack next to it and grab a drift board from there, you can use your drift board to go over to Junk Junction, get a chest, then quickly move over to Haunted Hills, and then make your way over to Pleasant Park. And yeah, guys, those 3 locations are very, very close together. The only other one that's kind of close together is maybe Tilted Towers, Shifty Shafts, and Polar Peak. But the important thing about going towards Junk Junction first is that you can pick up the vehicle, the drift board. So that helps you move in between those locations fast. However, the only thing about that is since it is close to the edge of the map, you will have to be careful about the storm. So yeah, guys, just something to keep in mind. But honestly, dropping there is probably one of the best spots for this challenge. But keeping it going here with another challenge, this is to deal damage to opponents with a pirate cannon, which definitely can be a tough one, but I'll give you some tips here to hopefully make this challenge a little bit easier for you guys. So yeah, guys, since the pirate cannon is a bit of a tough thing to use to actually, deal damage to people with, since as you guys may or may not know, you can go up to the pirate cannon and move it around, and if you press the fire button, as you can see right here, it fires a cannonball. Now, I did do a little bit of testing in creative with my friend, and apparently the damage of hitting somebody with a cannonball is 100. It may or may not vary, but when we tested it in creative, it did do 100 damage, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, with that being said, how do you increase your chances of hitting somebody with a cannon? Well, again, guys, it is a tough challenge, but one of the things I can recommend is to do it in Team Rumble. And basically, when you start up one of those games, you want to go towards the circle fairly early on. Now, once you know where the circle is, something you can do is maybe find one of the pirate camps, which we went over in last week's video, or maybe go towards the pirate ship, but basically you want to find one of the pirate cannons, obviously. And the pirate camps have a bunch of those, so once you find one of those pirate cannons, you can hold on to it and then wait for the enemies to start coming towards the circle. Now, the ideal thing would maybe to be on top of a hill so that you can maybe fire towards build battles going on between your teammates and enemies where there are a bunch of enemies, or just, run the cannon around trying to find people that are running around. And honestly, guys, you're gonna have to get a little bit lucky with this one and happen to hit somebody with it, so it will be a bit tough, but hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. But actually, one other thing I could recommend with this one is to maybe practice in creative with it, or go into Playground and grab one of the cannons so you can get an idea of like the trajectory and height and how, the cannonball flies through the air, because if this is the first time you're using the cannon, you may get good opportunities to hit somebody with it, but if you haven't practiced with it, you may end up missing, so that's something you can do as well to hopefully increase your chances of getting this challenge done fast. And then after that, guys, you have the land at location stages, which I really don't have many tips to give you for this one, besides maybe saving it for the end, because if there's a certain location you need to land at, maybe you can work it into some of your other challenges as well, like maybe the searching chests at 3 different named locations. Maybe you can start off at one of the locations you have to land at and do it that way, but overall it's a very easy challenge, so there's not much else to really say about it. But after that then, guys, let's get into it with one of the most important challenges this week, and that is the one where you have to visit furthest north, east, south, and west points on the island. But don't worry, guys, I've got the exact locations of where to go for that. Now, real quick before we get into it, guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because I post these guides every single week, giving you guys tips, tricks, and secrets to help you get done with the challenges as quick as possible. And if you don't want to miss those, the best way to know about them is to be subscribed and have notifications turned on. But yeah, guys, getting back into it with this challenge, there are 4 different locations you need to go, and again, they're on the north, east, south, and west points of the island. But don't worry, guys, I know exactly where these are. So yeah, guys, let's simply start off with the one on the north side of the map so you can get an idea of what exactly you are looking for and what you're trying to land at. Now, I'm not 100% sure if you can do multiple of these in the same game. I didn't test that out myself, but it's still worth a try since it isn't a stage challenge. It simply says visit different things. I think you'd maybe be able to do them in the same game. So with that being said, this first location may actually be a better one to start at, but since it is on the north side of the map, basically where you want to go is towards Junk Junction and the racetrack next to it. It's sort of in between those two, but as you can see, if you go over towards, the edge of the map right over here, you will find this little sign, which is exactly what you want to walk up towards and visit. That'll help you get done with one part of the challenge, and as you can see, it marks the north point of the map. So yeah, this is like the type of thing you were looking for, these little signs, and we have 3 more to go over. So the next one I want to talk about is the one on the east side of the map, and basically to find this one, you want to go over towards Snobby Shores. Now, actually, I almost forgot to say, if you are able to do these in the same match, you could then maybe pick up a drift board from the racetrack on the north side of the map and take it over towards Snobby Shores. But either way, once you're over at Snobby Shores, it's back behind the houses right over here, as you can see. Pretty easy to find once you know where it is. So yeah, be sure to visit that one. And then for the southern one, this one is near Lucky Landing. It's actually right outside of Lucky Landing. But if you go up on top of this hill right here, it's also near a pig, which I didn't know was added recently. But yeah, you'll be able to find the south sign right over here near Lucky Landing. And then for the final one that you need for this challenge, it is the one on the west side of the map, and that one is near the mansion, which has continued to get more and more run down. But basically, if you're facing the front of the mansion, you want to go to the right of it, go down the hill a bit, and you'll find this piece of the island, you know, jutting out, which I think may have been added this season. I don't remember this being here, but if you go out on that, you will find the final sign that you need to help you complete this challenge. And then moving on real quick to the next challenge I want to talk about. This one is the eliminations at Salty Springs or Haunted Hills, which is pretty easy overall. However, instead of doing something like Team Rumble, personally I recommend solo, because once you get an elimination, it counts right away, and also there's generally a lot of people that do this challenge in solo, so you're gonna be able to find people. Now personally, I recommend Salty Springs because it's a little bit busier, but if you want somewhere that's probably going to be a little bit quieter, maybe that's what you prefer, I think Haunted Hills would probably be a little bit more quiet. So yeah, something to keep in mind there. Now as for the final challenge, it is the gain health stages, which for the first one is to gain health from apples. Unfortunately, I haven't quite gotten to the other stages quite yet. Wanted to get this video out to you as quickly as possible, but if it has to do with health, you know, I mean, it should be pretty straightforward, so apologies about that. But as for apples, I actually recommend going like near Salty Springs or Fatal Fields. There's a few apples to the south of Salty Springs near the houses, but also at Fatal Fields, if you go to the northwest, there's a few apples that you can find right there, so there you go. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more challenge guides coming out in the near future. On top of that, you can check out some of my previous videos here, such as on the left, my week 1 guide, and then on the right, going over 6 secrets which only experts know about season 8. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.